Hey, I'm super excited you're here for this training on AI growth websites. This is for service providers and web designers who want to scale to 20K months or beyond and build monthly recurring revenue with the high level opportunity. This is the slide that high level sent to me that I'm supposed to tell you that this is not a guarantee of results, but I'm just going to honestly and truthfully share with you what I've learned, what I've experienced, and what my results have been in the hopes that it can help encourage you. The things I want to cover are first and foremost, how to escape the web design income trap. Okay. I want to help you make more recurring income without adding more services and more things to your plate because you're probably already busy. The next thing I want to cover is the AI powered growth website model and the opportunity to team up with High Level. And then I want to cover how you can actually make more money per project than you're probably selling right now and help you build your monthly recurring revenue business. So let's dive in. First of all, the income trap of a web designer. Well, most of us started this business for freedom. We decided not to go the 9 to 5 route because we wanted this freedom for ourselves. But why does it end up feeling more like this endless hustle, right? The hustle culture, the grind. You get a client, you have a client roster, you're working endless hours, and then you have no clients, and then you do a wave of feast and famine. And trust me, I've been there over the years. When you have to go get new clients, you are essentially kind of starting from scratch. And why is this? Well, first of all, we typically sell one-off projects. I used to say it was almost like grad school. I prided myself on wanting to get the project, get the income in the door, do the project, and then much like a grad school semester, go ahead and check it off my bucket list and move on. And then that left me having to get new clients. There's scope creep, as you're probably well aware of if you've sold these services. And we typically undercharge for our services. I'm going to cover more on pricing here in just a bit. There's also endless tech stacks, meaning that if you've been in this business for any amount of time, you have probably started learning multiple software tools. That learning curve each and every time, plus the number of tools being put together, is what's causing the frustration and the potential burnout. So the question to ask is, what if every website you build could pay you monthly forever? Okay. And with growth websites, what that means is a project fee upfront and then a software platform monthly fee recurring every single month after that. So you may already be aware of the opportunity with High Level, but I encourage you, if you are or are not, stick around because I believe this is going to turn on some light bulbs for you that are really going to change the game for you. The shift is happening right now, and this wasn't even possible a number of years ago. The old way of being a web designer and selling a website was selling pretty brochure websites. They were one-off projects, and the goal was to make them as most robust and animated and beautiful as possible. It was all about finding the best drag and drop builder or WordPress plugin that was going to do the trick to making their website stand out. Typically, it was an afterthought as to whether or not we were plugging in any types of contact forms and conversion assets. Perhaps then also there was a monthly maintenance plan associated that had to do with updating plugins, and whatever it was, if we were charging monthly, typically had client expectations attached that we were going to spend more of our time at a computer screen working on their behalf. It was also built with inefficient tech stacks because up until a couple of years ago, you sort of had to use a number of online tools to build someone's website. The new way of doing things is this: we're going to sell growth websites with automation, AI, and built in monthly revenue on an all in one platform, which at this point you should probably know is High Level. So let's continue onward. What is a growth website? Well, first and foremost, it's an optimized SEO website. It's what you're used to creating for clients already. but it's got some nice additions. It has lead nurture, which you're probably already familiar with, things like opt in forms, contact forms, chat widgets, also calendars, because we know digital scheduling is becoming much more popular these days as a user experience. Plus, tools like AI chat, which is conversational chatbots that can be trained on the company's brand and training resources, and AI voice, where people can actually call the business and an AI voice will respond to them, which is alarmingly humanistic at this point. So, it also includes communications and marketing. So, a unified inbox, emails, calls, text messages. No longer do these website design clients have to go add on an additional ConvertKit or MailChimp or ActiveCampaign because you are helping them see how their website is really truly a growth website, and it includes everything that they're going to need to communicate and close deals, plus deal tracking. So, showing them that they have access to a CRM where they can have notes on all of their contacts, they can monitor the sales pipelines and opportunities, plus they have documents and contracts and invoices. This alone is saving a number of tools that businesses inevitably go look for as they grow. And then automation, prospecting, onboarding, and review requests. I know that the majority of businesses, small, medium, and large, are lacking in this department. If you can learn to build a couple of very simple automations, you will stand out from the crowd when it comes to website design because the majority of business owners are still doing things manually. This basically sums up the fact that growth websites are an all in one digital engine for business growth. And I'm actually going to show you a screenshot here from the HighLevel website. This is what they're calling it, Build the Digital Marketing Engine. And you can see all those little icons and graphics of the tools that this can replace. So you may already know this, so let's keep pushing forward. But I just want to make sure that you understand what's possible here because the business wins when you do this. This is what businesses want. They don't want to log into six places. When you build them a growth website, you build them a platform that becomes the place that they log in to track their marketing and their sales. At that point, you have a very sticky client. If you hang around the HighLevel ecosystem for a long time, you'll hear all the different ways you can sell potential services. And I believe that the website, the growth website as a core component, is one of the stickiest offers you can make, especially if you're already a website designer. The growth website business model, how does it work? Super simple. Step one, you're going to sell these growth websites. You're going to charge a one-time setup fee of $5,000 to $50,000. I know that's a large range, but quite frankly, there is a large range in this world of web design. First of all, I want you to charge a premium price because you're not just selling a basic website anymore. You're selling a growth website with all of the components I just explained. And second of all, it depends on the scope of the project, obviously, what they really want built. So you already know this. You'll be creating custom proposals for a one-time service fee. Step two, you're going to use AI tools at your disposal to set up and build the system. And it's remarkably easier than you think. I'm going to show you a little bit more here in just a moment. And you go ahead and create that account for them on HighLevel. In step three, after that, you get paid monthly for the software, not services, for the software. And that can be anything from $97 a month to $497 a month and upwards, especially if you're using advanced AI tools. So let's keep moving forward because you might be curious about what I'm doing, who I am, and I want to share with you this is not that rags to riches story that you hear. I'm actually your classic overachiever. I didn't grow up, immigrating and having to struggle and having to put dollars together. I grew up in a middle class income household and decided that I would go do the American dream, pursue all the things, go to all the schools, do all the things. I founded after my two master's degrees, I started my company, Kismet Ideas. So I've been doing this for 11 years of web design. I'm a Fulbright alumni ambassador and an Ironman finisher. I'm a Kentucky gal through and through, which is why I'm super honest to my core. And I just believe in family values, but I'm also world traveled. So I have a very worldly citizen type view of the world. And I am an adjunct professor of AI at the University of Louisville here in my hometown. I truly thought that hard work was the way. And while hard work has its time and place, it's not the only way, because that hard work over time actually led me to burnout and overwhelm over the last 11 years. I was constantly working harder and harder and harder, thinking that I was chipping away at something that was really truly going to be a right around the next corner will be my next big breakthrough. I was constantly learning new tech stacks, right? I had zero passive recurring income by the first 5 years of business. Everything was one project at a time, and clients, quite frankly, got sick of me having to call them up and tell them they needed to pay for yet another tool or plugin, right? And it's stories like these that most people tell you, "Oh, well, hindsight is 2020, and looking back, I should have done a different thing and had a different approach." But actually, in my case, sometimes it takes the right opportunity to come along because, like I said, just a couple of years ago, this didn't even exist. This type of all in one platform with this revenue share opportunity did not even exist. So, really, truly, my turning point was not only discovering HighLevel, it was a shift in my own mindset, realizing that I was not just a web designer, I was a digital architect. I was in charge of designing growth websites with AI, automation, and those are infrastructure for a business online, which was one of the most important things a business can have in today's age. And that's when everything shifted. And I started collecting higher prices, building my recurring revenue, which means that I don't have to work for that amount of money. It just comes in every single month, and ultimately more freedom. One of the things I'm really proud of in these series of photographs too is the picture of my house. Last year, I was able to purchase my first home and completely renovate it, and it was thanks to this recurring revenue that I was able to maybe take on less projects during those months while I was renovating. So I am super proud of that. Plus, my ability to continue to be a digital nomad in the world. So I'm hoping this will encourage you to shift your perspective from a freelancer. We're also known as contractors, right? So a web designer who just builds websites. Think of yourself in this photo like the painter. You're making something really pretty and you're building a website, but I'd love for you to switch gears in your mind and start to consider yourself a digital architect. You're building business growth systems that clients depend on every single month. And who gets paid better? An architect or a painter, right? The home builder or the person laying the tiles? That's the big shift that I hope can help you, because I realized I don't need more clients and more hustle until one day I get to retire. Glued to this chair, working long hours, that's not what I need. What I want is to stack recurring income every single month without any extra work associated so that retirement comes sooner. So that is the path I'm on. And that is why I'm here to share this with you today. That is why I'm so incredibly fired up about this opportunity. So, as a growth website architect, my project prices increased significantly and dramatically. And again, results may vary, but this is just my experience. And most importantly, so did my monthly recurring income. So here is a look at, oh, and without any more services. This is monthly software recurring income. This is a look at just one single client, a top spend, a $40,000 website project plus $297 a month recurring. This client is absolutely stoked. They're thrilled with the website. Now, it was a large website. They are thrilled with the fact that they now have a system they can go into and create proposals and documents for signature, and they have automation happening, and they are thrilled to pay for a software fee that they were going to pay somewhere else anyway. And this is for me. And what I want to point out is something that I discovered. I have a lot of friends in real estate. And my real estate friends were telling me that they'll buy a rental property just for $250 in positive cash flow every month. Here I am making $297 a month on this positive cash flow on my software recurring income. And here are the benefits: I get paid monthly on autopilot, and that customer is paying it. My clients are paying it like it's a utility bill, like it's keeping the electricity on, right? It's running their online system. It's more profitable because a roof is never going to leak, right? Um, There's no big investment required to do this or emergency funds needed. In real estate, you may need to start with tens of thousands of dollars in the bank just to have a good cushion to go out there and buy a tangible asset like that. And with high level and this opportunity with recurring income, you can actually sell your businesses. You can position to sell for a multiple of your cash flow. And real estate also has that opportunity too. And the properties will appreciate in value. So I hope you appreciate this comparison, not in a way to say, don't invest in real estate, but in a way to say, look at how remarkable the software recurring income is because of all of the ability to have upside with not as much downside or risk. So let's talk about why the opportunity to team up with HighLevel is so absolutely incredible right now. First of all, you can white label it and you can charge what you want. So you'll put your own brand on it, your own logo on it, and you'll have your clients in there. You can charge them anything you want, and your cost to HighLevel is somewhere around $297 to $497 a month. You can go up from there if you want white labeled mobile apps, but that's the general range of what you're going to pay for unlimited accounts. So you can see with 2 or 3 client accounts, you're at break even and you're heading into profit territory by charging your clients. Plus, you don't have a bunch of places to log in and log out of. You are in one place and you can just toggle between your clients' accounts. It makes you more productive as well. Second, if you don't want to be it's called a SaaS provider, you don't want to be the software provider, you can simply use your affiliate link. I think we forget sometimes how incredibly amazing it is that HighLevel offers 40% recurring revenue every single month for the life of the client. So if you have no desire to be the software provider, you can still make money recurring every month just by using your link when you get a new client and building them on the absolute best platform that there is on the marketplace at this price point. The next thing I want to share with you is HighLevel is on a massive growth trajectory. This right here is a screenshot from Crunchbase. Their first round of funding was $60 million. Their second round of funding was undisclosed, but typically a second round is either the exact same as the first round or more or greater. So you're looking at over 6-figure millions of dollars of investment. This company is growing. This company is going places. And if you look at the second round, it was a investment by General Atlantic. General Atlantic has invested in these companies. Do any of these companies look familiar and like they're going places? This is the company that you're in by teaming up with HighLevel. And this is a wave that is happening. It's an opportunity that is happening, whether you decide to jump in or not. So I want to encourage you, jump in. There's absolutely no better time than now. If you compare HighLevel to their top competitor, which is HubSpot, in my opinion, and in the opinion of some others that have shared this with me, HubSpot has a massive sales team. So they're out there directly selling HubSpot to enterprise and business clients. Whereas HighLevel focuses on an affiliate network and selling directly to agencies, which I'll get there in a moment. If you don't feel like an agency, that's okay. But think of yourself as an architect, and HighLevel is really built for you so that you can profit. Basically, HighLevel is built with a revenue share model in mind. And on the other hand, HubSpot only pays their affiliates up to $1,000 per sale. With HighLevel, you could potentially make 1,000 or more in your first year alone, and then for year after year after year to come. The average website typically has a lifespan of somewhere between 5 and 7 years before a client would decide that they either need an overhaul or they need to move. But building them on this platform pretty much ensures that you will be paid for the long run. So imagine 5 years from now, right? Because you've probably sat through so many trainings like this. You've probably thought to yourself that this will be the thing. This will be the thing that sparks me to go do the thing I'm trying to do. Will go after my goals, right? What do you want your life and your income to look like in 5 years? Truly. I don't know how old you are, but I know how old I am, and I'm thinking if in 5 years I can get closer to having enough passive income that I can choose to work or not during my day, I will have created what most will not. And that's what I want to encourage you with. So if you look at the income potential, I'm going to throw this out pretty quickly, but there's some numbers here, so hone in. On the top level here, we're looking at 5 year from now, right? If you locked into this opportunity and you started taking on 2 clients per month for a $10,000 growth website build each, and they had a $197 a month software fee, just some basic math here, moving out over 5 years, you're looking at, by the end of 5 years, having a monthly recurring income of $23,000. What could you do if you had $23,000 rolling in to pay for the software no matter what, month in and month out? And you might be thinking, well, that's not all profit. And I get you. You're totally right. Remember that you can have unlimited sub accounts on what's $500 a month. So subtract $500 from this amount. And then let's say you wanted to hire a team to do all of your tech support. Subtract another couple of thousand. You're talking still about six figures every single year in profitable cash flow. So I'm super excited for this. I'm fired up. That's why I'm on this journey and I'm trying to share it with as many people as possible, because this means that even if you stopped selling new websites, you'd still be making around 23K a month recurring revenue after 5 years. So if you'll strap in, if that's a weird word to say, if you'll get on board with this, if you'll jump on the wave, I promise you'll be amazed with what you can create. So let's talk about the actual process of building them. If you're not familiar with HighLevel, if you are, let's just go through this as quickly as possible. But if you're not, I just want to remind you, first step in building a growth website is to actually build out an SEO optimized website. You can pull from thousands or maybe hundreds of templates inside of the HighLevel template library. You can start to build out your own templates, and you can even use things like custom values to change colors and logos if you start to duplicate those templates across client accounts. It's a drag and drop builder. And I've heard web designers before. I know their feeling is, oh, but it doesn't have all of the shiny, fancy things of Elementor or Squarespace, or it doesn't have this one thing from Wix Studio. But don't forget, HighLevel has a good enough, an excellent enough website builder, and they're the ones revenue sharing with you. So what I encourage you to do is just get in there and discover that it's got all of the essentials that you need. You know, the video backgrounds, the mega menus, the padding, if all that makes sense to you, the SEO metadata, the details, the integration with Facebook, with Google, with your analytics, with your search console. You can do it all in this platform. So when you start to learn it, you're going to be actually pretty amazed at how fast you can go and build sites. The next part of the growth website ecosystem is lead generation. You choose. You're going to build it into your contract, whether you're going to do forms or quizzes. I've got a client we did a quiz for that was generating dozens of leads a week, because I know quizzes are pretty popular. I've got other clients where, the chat widget is something that people will click on. And these things take just moments to set up. They take minutes to build in the HighLevel system, but they mean so much to a business long term. Calendars are huge. So you can tell your clients they can kick Calendly, that cost of Calendly off of their monthly bills, because you can actually build that for them. And for almost all of these things here in AI chat and voice, you'll find resources, whether there's a template or you're just going to find that it's really just follow the screens, follow the prompts. And if you're a web designer, you can definitely build this out. You can see here, you're just following it every step of the way. And HighLevel does a really good job of making sure that you understand what each option is for. The next thing is deal tracking and CRM and opportunity boards. Clients love this because you can put the value of a lead. You can actually set up a quick automation that will set a value of a lead. And when they log in to their growth website platform, which you've created for them, they're going to see on their dashboard that they have money in the pipeline, that they're sitting on deals. It allows this process to help the client and keep them logging in, because this is their single source of truth about the deals that they have, that they're working through. And so you can see here too, we've got the inbox, right? Communications and marketing, setting up, you can create a basic newsletter template. You can create text message templates and snippets. And all of this comes down to, obviously, on a client by client basis, what you need to build. But kind of looking overall at this, you would move into building automation. And there's even a workflow AI feature now that you can just describe what you're trying to do for a client, and it'll actually tell you exactly which steps to build. There are so many action steps in here. And of all of the years of working with businesses, now is the time to get businesses automated, because it used to just be that having a website was enough. Now it's how can they actually become more streamlined and efficient by having automation. We expect to get an automated reply when our Uber Eats arrives at our door. And the majority of companies are missing out on this. So when you learn how to click around, right, and just follow a little bit of logic, you can start building out some very simple sequences. And I like to think of them in three buckets: prospecting, so nurturing someone who's come in as a lead; onboarding, so when your client has a customer, what are the steps they need to go through; and then review requests, sending out reviews. So if you build at least one automation in each of these buckets, it's more automation than they likely currently have. This is a list of all the tools they might otherwise pay for. I think this list is slightly inflated with the overall price here of 16.12 per month, but don't be surprised that if they had to piece this together, it would be hundreds more than what you may charge for it, even at 197. This benefits your clients because they have one central place to log into. They're not constantly pinging you and asking, "Oh, was that in Mailchimp, or was that in WordPress, or where was that thing?" And they just don't get it. Now they get it. They can not only log into one place on their computer, but they can download the mobile app for HighLevel or Lead Connector, and they're off to the races. It makes sense to them. It organizes their business online. It becomes the place, like I said, that they're looking at their sales dashboard. They're looking at really everything that they need to see in one place, and it empowers them on a platform that they can scale with over the years. So what I often tell clients as we're building out growth websites is, hey, this is phase one, or this is phase one and phase two, but we're building you in a place that you won't have to migrate from in a couple of years if you grow. You're never going to outgrow the HighLevel platform. I also like to tell my clients, think of it like a Swiss Army knife. Each little thing you could pull off of a Swiss Army knife is just one little tool set. And I said, this is a very robust, it's like a Swiss Army knife on crack, or the Incredible Hulk of Swiss Army knives. You don't necessarily need to learn all of the tools in order to know that as you grow, when you need something, it will be here. So that also, and additionally, saves them money in the long run. So the more you know about the things that they may be looking for in the future, that conversation about how much it's going to cost overall, you can remind them they're getting everything at their fingertips when they're ready for it, because your goal is to help them grow. That's why you're building them a growth website. And finally, now they have automation. I can't stress this enough, because, of course, you're going to find plenty of businesses that are going to tell you that they're using AI and they're using automation. But I would say, by and large, the majority of business owners do not have things automated. And just stepping in to help them do that, they're not going to want to leave. How does this benefit you as a growth website architect? I hope it's pretty obvious, but you also have one central place to log into, which is amazing. It pays you more money up front because you can charge more for this than a basic website. Plus, it's recurring software income for months and years to come, like I talked about. And your websites and your automation are sticky. I think I might be repeating myself a little bit more, but ultimately the goal here is more freedom, right? When you have that recurring monthly income, you get more freedom of choice. You get more freedom of who you decide to work with, and you get more freedom of time. So that's what I want for you. I want to walk through quickly a couple of shifts and things that you might be thinking, because I was thinking them too. I learned about HighLevel around 3.5 years ago, and it took me a moment to get over these. And that's why I'm here to help you. I want to help you transform your thinking on this. And so you might be wondering, can I even charge that much? Like, oh my goodness, Paige, like 10K, 40K. You showed me a 40K website. Are you kidding me? Well, first of all, you can. And I want to say this with all of my heart, is that I feel like there's a disempowering belief in our community where website design pricing is going down, that any business owner could just hire somebody on Fiverr, Upwork, that anyone can learn how to build a website because it's drag and drop, that the competition, it's so competitive, it's so saturated, it's a skill that, quite frankly, the pricing just isn't premium anymore. And I call BS on that 1010%. Because the reality is, business owners are paying more money for automation, AI, and customer systems. They are paying more money because in some cases, these are actually saving them money on people costs, right? Which is, you know, kind of a pro and a con in the world order. But I digress. The reality is they are paying for these tools, right? And you're selling not just a website, you're selling business infrastructure, which is 10 times more valuable. And I just want to remind you with every fiber of my being that when you look at the landscape of society, when you look at the amount of times we all pick up our cell phones and are glued to them, and how anytime we're trying to do anything from getting our nails done to our haircut to picking a restaurant for date night to looking up a doctor, the list goes on. Where are we going first? The internet, which means that our skills, digital creation, building infrastructure, building websites, our skills are more valuable for a business today than they ever have been in human history, right? I still pinch myself. Even being a web designer was not a job that existed when I was a kid, right? So I hope that you felt that in every fiber of your being. But let me tell you this, even if you only charged 1 to 5K for a project, right? You charge $1,000 for a website if you wanted to, a growth website. It's your prerogative, right? It's your life. You could still collect 97 to 497 or more a month in recurring revenue for years, right? And that's the goal, isn't it? Because that's the money that comes in without your services and your time attached to it. I've sold tons of models. I continue to. You can sell VIP days for $1,000 to $3,000 and you can get somebody started on a growth website. You can outline a number of tasks and you can roll up your sleeves and you can get as much done in one day. And then you show them behind the scenes of how it works, get them set up on HighLevel. And from there, they're empowered. They can decide to invest in another VIP day or start building it themselves, right? That's another kind of lower budget item. You can build on retainers. So maybe it's not a big flat rate, but it's a 3 to 6 month contract of here are the things I think that we're looking to build for your company. I'm going to partner up with you and we're going to build incrementally as much as we can month after month. And you could build in a rent to own model. I see plenty of people online talking about the notion of, kind of almost giving them the website and building them the initial build out, but then charging hundreds of dollars a month and maybe even doing it in a rent to own fashion, charging a higher monthly fee for the first year to cover the cost of build out and then kind of lowering it back down. But there are multiple ways. So I hope you get what I'm saying is that your skills are valuable and you get to choose what you're going to charge. But I do believe there are plenty of clients out there that are willing to pay 10K and above. Question, right? That you might be thinking, well, how do I get clients? Okay. The disempowering belief is you thinking that you don't actually know. Because chances are, if you've been in this industry for any amount of time, you've watched webinars, you've watched trainings, you've seen YouTube videos, you know that there are a ton of ways to get clients: referrals, networking, organic social media, being visible, paid social media, running traffic to funnels, hosting a webinar, right? Doing video sales letters and getting applications and getting phone calls booked, teaming up for joint ventures and getting yourself in front of other people's audiences that you could serve, potentially doing cold outreach, right? Cold emailing, cold calling, cold messaging, doing inbound lead generation and offering up a freebie or a free training that people opt in for. The reality is you can make any of these work if you'll just stick to one long enough to see results. And I have found success in a number of these. I'll give you a little secret though. I'm going to cue you into something that you probably already know but maybe you're not doing. The essential ingredient, no matter which one of these you pick and stick with for your own success, is video. Video, 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 right? Even if you've cold called, you would follow up your calls with a video, right? Even if you do organic social media, you would follow up, your experiences and connections with people with a video. Video will be your secret ingredient, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. You might be thinking, because I've heard this from others, of like, it's just a lot to learn. I mean, I've already learned how to build the websites and make a website look aesthetically pleasing and get the copy done and the graphics done. And now you're telling me, Paige, that I got to learn a CRM and an automation and HighLevel's complex and it's a lot going on. And listen, It's a learning curve every time you learn a new platform. Okay, I think I have successfully built in Kartra, Weebly, ClickFunnels, Squarespace, WordPress, Wix, you name it. And every single time it was a learning curve. And that is why I spent effort on this training so far to show you that you are on a rocket ship of growth if you will team up with HighLevel, because you won't need to go learn new platforms every time. The second thing I want to share with you is that you're already more than 80% of the way there. That's why I love web designers. I love service providers. I love people that are willing to get in and figure out how things are built so you can build them for clients. If you are that kind of person, then you're already more there than you think you are, right? You're the kind of person who, when you start a new free trial of a software, you'll actually get in and click around at the menu items to figure out what things do. You are already that person. You're further along than you realize, and it is not that much of a learning curve to build this in. And plus, if you avoid learning the skills of AI and automation, it's only going to keep you stuck in feast or famine. It's only going to keep, I have friends like this that are stuck in one of two ways. They're either just doing the project to just build the website, and they're going, I'm not going to learn how to build out these growth websites, Paige, or bigger systems because that's just too much. But then they're in famine mode occasionally, going, oh, just the sales aren't coming in, and they don't have any recurring income, right? Or option two, we've got people that are doing just service after service after service after service, and every single month they're so glued and so burnt out. And I have met people in their 50s and 60s that are looking at me and going, I just can't stop working 14-hour days, and my heart breaks. So that is why I want to tell you, dive in, lean in to learning this, because it's actually not a lot to learn. You're already the type of person who is capable of this. This is one that came up for me a lot, right? HighLevel is built for agencies. So you'll hear the notion agency a lot, agency. What I like to tell my clients is that Kismet, which is my company, which means fate or destiny, Kismet is your agency of record in HighLevel. I'm giving you a HighLevel account, which is backed by 100 plus million in funding, right? I always say 60 million because that's what's actually shown on Crunchbase, but I know it's more. I tell them they have hundreds of developers and engineers around the world, right? And that because of that, they get additional resources by working with me, and they're in really good shape and really good hands. But I had struggled with this because I thought, am I really an agency as a web designer? My team typically fluctuates from about 2 to 3 people. Sometimes throughout the years of 11 years, I've been solo as a web designer. Truth is it's your choice. To be someone's agency of record and to charge them a monthly software fee, it does take a choice and a consideration, but it's your choice of how big of a team you want. I am kind of fed up, quite frankly, with the number of people sort of shaming, I mean, men and women, but women especially, on the fact that they may not even be as ambitious if they're not willing to grind for, 100K months and building out a massive team. And all of the people that tell you that you can't succeed without hiring. In fact, I believe we're moving into an opposite reality here where people are starting to favor lifestyle. People are starting to favor that human connection and the things that the money is supposed to bring to us in our lives. And so it is to each their own. It is your choice. Okay. You can be an agency of one, you can be an agency of five, you can be an agency of 500. You don't need a big team, but if you want one, go get it. It's totally your call, because at the end of the day, this is your lifestyle. And you're the one, right? I'm the one who has to be proud. I'm the one who gets to be proud of what I've created. And so the same is true for you. And this last one, it kind of seems like a big commitment, doesn't it? Right. Uh, Actually, I've got one more after this, but this one was big for me, because if this one's holding you back and kind of getting you stuck like that, then I want to talk through it, right? I've lived all over the world. I've traveled a lot. I've lived in different states in the United States. I finally just bought my first home, so I'm a little bit more settled. But for me, the reason why the project-based life felt great was, if I didn't want to keep working with that client, I didn't have to. It was almost like this idea of being their software provider kind of felt like I would be married to them or glued to them, right? And I, like a lot of freelancers, I feared that the long-term commitments of taking on this opportunity with HighLevel was because I thought clients would constantly demand things from me. I thought they would constantly demand updates. In reality, most clients don't reach out. I have so many clients right now that are just paying monthly and never connect with me. I even have open office hours. They don't even show up. They just do their own thing. And if you do find that you've got too many people reaching out for tech support and stuff like that, you can hire and outsource support easily. There are multiple teams within the HighLevel ecosystem where you can hire them and they will white label your tech support on your behalf. That's what I was talking about earlier. Maybe it's a couple $1,000s off that monthly, income, the revenue that you're making to hire a team. So if you should choose. That is what I want to express to you because you're not committing to endless client revisions. Sure, you can choose to. The other day, I decided to put an hour in on a client's proposal template because that client is going to stick with me and pay me thousands of dollars a year for year after year, just passively for the software revenue, right? But this isn't about services. You're giving them a system, you're giving them a platform, you're giving them a software, whichever word works best for you, and it's a system that runs itself, right? So they're paying for the software tools every month. Their software fees. They're going to pay them to someone else anyway, or another company or another software company anyway. It might as well be you. The other thing you can do is you can record trainings for clients so that they can make updates themselves. I tend to, when I sell growth websites, I talk about the notion of empowerment. Clients typically like that. They don't want to be handcuffed. And this empowers clients to even hire their own VAs and their own staff and then bring them into the system as well. So I see notifications every single month that one of my clients has brought in a new team member into their account. There are thousands of people around the world that are supporting HighLevel business owners. And so it doesn't have to be you with services. You are the architect who built the system. Therefore, you are getting paid for the software platform that runs the system every single month without services involved. And I just wanted to share this. This came to me just the other day in my email. I sent off a video. I said, here's how you can create your proposal template. I did it. Like the client is so excited. This is a big business client. Scott has 2 businesses already, making a combined 50 million a year. But he's excited that he was able to go in there and do something that is pushing his business forward in this system. And this is Christy. Christy, I hadn't heard for months and months and months, just paying for the software. And she says, now that I can see how she's talking about the software program works and the people getting my videos, I definitely want to spend some more time redoing those. But I love the platform. So even when I'm not hearing from people, when they do chime in, they're telling me how awesome it is, how much they love it. It's such a good feeling. Lastly, what should my proposal look like in order to get people to buy a growth website? Well, here's the thing I want to share with you. And then I do have some resources that I can give you beyond this training because there's not enough time here now like I'd like to. I could do an entire dedicated training on proposals. But I want to share this. Most clients don't buy based off of logic, right? They buy based off of clarity and confidence. So your proposal should be as clear as possible. It should outline all of the things that you are going to build. And what I see so often in this space are just fluffy or generic proposals. So get started in writing more line item details and clarity for the client. Because at the end of the day, your proposal isn't about pricing. It's about making your clients say, yes, right? This is exactly what I need. When they can see the connection between what you're building and long-term business growth, they no longer think of it as just a website, right? Because it's not, it's an entire system. Let's take action together. And I am so grateful for this opportunity. I am unbelievably transformed in my life by getting to meet the team at HighLevel and what they've created. And they've given me this opportunity to tell you, and maybe even somewhere around this video itself, there'll be a link to sign up to HighLevel with my referral affiliate link. And if you do, I want to give you my free coaching and bonuses. Plus, I put together a simple landing page, kismetbuilder.com, that you can jump on to, and it'll also outline it and give you that my affiliate link to HighLevel. So when you sign up using that, you don't pay any additional money, but HighLevel, as I had already showed you, HighLevel pays 40% recurring. And because of that, I'm offering bonuses for free coaching, and giving you some other goodies. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But really quick, I just want to compel you, right? I feel my goosebumps kicking in. I just want to compel you. Please start today. Don't wait. I wish I had started a year sooner. I wish I had started the minute I found out about this, and I needed a particular training. There was a moment in time when I watched a training similar to this, and it was the thing I needed to actually get me to dive in. If you're ready to upgrade your account or you're ready to start your brand new free trial, like, please just don't wait, because do what the architect version of you would do. Do the thing that will make you the most proud, right? Do the thing to create what most people won't take the time to create in 5 years or less. I want to just encourage you that. They say we underestimate what we can get done in the long run, but we overestimate what we can get done in the short run. And that's why I put this out there for you. And I want to do it together. I genuinely do. So, with Kismet Builder, like I said, Kismet is destiny or fate. You are building your own destiny, and you're building the destiny for the clients that you serve and the businesses that you take on as clients. And I want to be there every step of the way. I want us to go hand in hand. I'll just read these off really quickly, but you can grab it. And as soon as you sign up with my link, thanks to HighLevel providing that information, I'll see your email address. And then I'm just going to send you an email and invite you in. I do weekly accountability and coaching on Zoom. You can share your screen. You can ask me anything. I've got customizable funnel pages for you to explain what growth websites are. You can add those to your domain. I can show you that. I've got pre-made social media graphics and posts that you can use to promote this. A proposal template, which shows you how to put together the details on a 10K upfront and 197 a month model. The story selling proposal training. This is a separate mastermind I've been running for 5 years, and I teach the notion of story selling by using videos. I show you exactly what to say on those videos in order to get more proposals closed. I have dozens of testimonials of people having success with this. And I'll also give you copies of my detailed task by task project management portals. That way you can just copy those for each new client that you're working with, and I'll be there weekly with you, alongside you. So I hope you got a lot out of this training, and I truly look forward to seeing your name come through, seeing your email, and getting connected with you. Thanks.